It's iPhone time! Hey, Rory here with SoyChinchao.com. Today, as you can see, iPhone time. iPhone unboxing time. It's time to unbox all the iPhones. Okay, all the individual models, not all the colors. We don't have all the colors. You get it. So the last time I did this, I did two videos, with one with the non-pros and one with the pros. So today, I'm just going to do one video, go through all of it, because we have all of it also. So yeah, also this time the iPhones, they are very similar. They're a lot more similar, I think, than the last ones. They've also got a new design, new colors. I think we have one of the new colors here, and also new sizes, because bigger and smaller is better. All right, let's get started. Okay, so we have all four smartphones here. So right at the top, you've got the iPhone 12 mini, the iPhone 12 Pro. Actually, I should do this right. So the iPhone 12, and then the iPhone 12 Pro, and the iPhone 12 Pro Max. Four brand new smartphones, one of which is a new variant, which honestly it should have been a thing a long time ago. I think due to the popularity of the SE and all the other small phones, people are like, oh, nobody wants to use small phone in 2020, but Apple says you do. And you know, I don't necessarily disagree with them. Okay, but here's the thing, these phones, I know, before you call me out in the comments, you can already tell these boxes have been opened. That's because the team has taken photos. I think you've seen some of them already. It's not a fresh unboxing, but it's fresh for me. So this is the iPhone 12 mini. And okay, before that, I actually want to talk about the box. I completely forgot. So this time they've got a new box, right? But before it arrived, I was like, how small could it be? Well, it's pretty small. Actually, if we get, Nick, can you get me a big box? So this is the old 11 Pro Max box. And if you compare it to the current one, look at that! It's like half. Can you see that? Can you see that? It's like half. Less than half? We'll stack them. Okay, more than half, more than half. It's a bit more than half. But yeah, it's a much smaller box. You know why? Because this time, it's an iPhone, but accessories sold separately. It's almost like they're doing a Microsoft Surface. The small one. This is the iPhone 12 mini, and this is the phone that's most interesting to me, because I've been asking people ever since we saw the really small bezel smartphones to make the screen big but the body small, because then it's more efficient. It can actually fit in your pocket without looking absolutely ridiculous. And if the screen to body ratio and screen size is correct, you're not going to miss out on anything. So I think this is like good compromise. So if we pop the lid, woo-hoo-hoo, it's green. So this is the mint green colorway. I think. Oops. This is the mint. Oh no, it's just green, but it looks like mint green. It's the green iPhone 12 mini. And as you can see in the box, you've got not much of anything. You still have the charging cable, C to Lightning next time, but a C to Lightning cable. And then you've got this documentation, SIM eject tool, and also Apple sticker. But this time, there's only one Apple sticker. What the f? There used to be two Apple stickers, right? There's like one here and then another one at the bottom. But like one piece lah. Now you only get one. And is it just me or is it smaller? Anyway, that's all you get in the box. Let's just open all of them together first. So if we go to the bigger box, so this is the iPhone 12. This is like the basic iPhone, I guess, now. But this time the specs are anything but basic, because it's actually pretty good. You don't get a crappy screen anymore. You don't get the really weird fat bezels and awkward body anymore. You get pretty much the same design and pretty much the exact same screen. So this is the iPhone 12. This is in a color they call white. You also get the same charging cable and also documentation. Now, do you get two stickers with this one? Just one. It is smaller! Look! The mini gets a mini Apple sticker. That's the 12, and then you've got 12 Pro, which is in a black box, as usual. So this is the 12 Pro, the smaller of the Pros. This one's nicer because it has a new, okay, not new lah, but it's a different kind of body. So as you can see, this one doesn't have the sticker in front because Ray has been using it already. So the difference is like this one, the 12 has a aluminium band, and while the other one has a stainless steel band. So this is, I think they call it aerospace grade aluminium. This one is surgical grade stainless steel. So do you want to be in a hospital or you want to be out in space? That one you decide lah. Oh yeah, the insides are also the same. You get the same big Apple sticker. So I guess if you want 2 Apple stickers inside, you have to buy 2 iPhones. Tough choice. Now we've got the Pro Max. Ooh! Okay, this is nice. Okay, so this is the new color. I think it's called Atlantis Blue? Pacific Blue. It's called Pacific Blue. It's not bad actually. Look at it. It's like, it's almost navy. I would have liked a brighter hero color, like a more abeng hero color, but this is, I guess, this will go better with your suit lah. It also has the surgical grade stainless steel, which you can see here is very glossy and already covered with fingerprints from just me taking it out of the box. But yeah, this blue, this is the new blue colorway. I think it looks pretty nice, especially in the frosted one. I've seen the glossy version on the regular 12s, and I think that one's like too blue. This is less blue. This is more like navy, I guess. Okay, so these are all the iPhones. Let me just get rid of all of this. One of the things that Apple said was like a big reason why they moved to the small box, not just because they want you to buy new chargers, is that it's more environmentally friendly because, you know, less waste. And then the box is smaller, so they can fit more on a pallet, more on a shipping container, and then with the space savings, they are like cutting out 250,000 cars or something. But we were having this discussion because I don't think that any of this is very, I mean, okay, it's probably more environmentally friendly than it otherwise would have been. Apple is probably the more environmentally friendly smartphone company because you can use their phones for longer, you don't have to replace them so often. But Apple also makes smartphones every single year and their devices are like super hard to repair. If like one of the components dies, you have to buy a whole new phone. I like that they let you change the battery now, and I guess the screen can be replaced too, but it's like, it just feels like good PR to me and not actually good environmentalism. But that's, you know, from my perspective. What do I know? So these are the 4 iPhones, as you can see. Let me just run you through some specs. You guys love specs, right? So all of these smartphones, they're powered by the A14 Bionic processor, which is the most powerful processor that Apple makes. This time it didn't debut on an iPhone, instead it debuted on an iPad, the iPad Air, the new one. So this is like not the first time, I think this is the first time that this has happened where the new A processor didn't come on iPhone, but you know, it's supposed to be really powerful, supposed to be better than every other Android processor out there. The other thing that I do like though is that all 4 of these smartphones, they have like a very similar resolution screen. So all of them, they vary slightly because of the screen sizes, but the pixel density is all about 460 pixels per inch, with the iPhone 12 mini having the highest pixel density at 476 pixels per inch. So it's a really dense, crisp screen. On top of that, so all of them have, they call it the Super Retina XDR display. So the last time with the 11 and the 11 Pro series, the 11 got like the lousy 820p screen. This time it gets also the Super Retina XDR display, so it's an OLED panel, looks really nice. But they had to differentiate it somehow, right? Even though on paper it looks like the same screen, because you're buying a cheaper phone, you have to get the slightly worse screen. So across the board, brightness is where they hit it. So on the 2 Pro models, the max brightness for these 2 devices is 800 nits, while on the 2 smaller non-Pro ones, the max brightness is 625 nits. But all 4 devices can still achieve a max peak brightness of 1200 nits for HDR. So I don't know, do you think that they can actually be configured to show 800 nits max brightness? I think so, but you know, I don't make displays, so that's just my educated guess. Besides that, the other differences is the camera. So all 4 smartphones this time actually have 3 different camera models, well, about three different camera setups split between them. So you've got the Pro Max, which is the most capable device, and then you've got the other two non-Pro devices which have the same dual camera setup. So on the on the 12 and 12 mini, you're getting a dual camera setup. You've got a 12 megapixel main camera, 12 megapixel ultra wide camera. So one is wide, one's ultra wide. On the other side of the spectrum, when you go for the Pro models, you get triple camera setups. So you get a telephoto, you get a wide, and you get an ultra wide. So the telephoto on the Pro is 2 times telephoto, and you've got 2 times ultra wide zoom out. And then on the Pro Max, you've got a bigger sensor on the wide angle camera with sensor shift OIS. So the pixels on the 12 Pro Max are 1.7 microns, which is pretty big. It's not the biggest we've seen, but it's pretty big. And it's also got a longer reach on the telephoto camera, where you get 2.5 times telephoto zooming. Also, OIS is available on all the wide cameras, but on the Pro, you get OIS also on the telephoto, and on the Pro Max, also OIS on the telephoto. Okay, so here we have all the smartphones that are already on. As you can see, some of them have already been set up. But as you can see, they all have really nice looking screens. Like, you don't have like the hazy, fuzzy stuff anymore around the sides. The bezels, do they look slimmer? I can't really tell. Do you think they look slimmer? They look the same to me lah. But I think what helps with the screen to body ratio is the new design. So I think I mentioned it earlier, but it has a slightly different design compared to the iPhone 11 series. So the 11 series had like rounded edges, and even the stainless steel bands were rounded. But this time they're going back to like their iPhone 5, iPhone 4 roots, where they have like the flat, really like, it feels like a bar kind of design, and I really like the square ones a lot more, so this one. And then finally, with like a phone, it can stand now. Yeah, so I really like this design. So I especially like it with the stainless steel band, because it has like that extra cold touch, like premium, like wow, you feel like a doctor, because you know, surgical grade, right? It is going to be a nightmare to keep clean and smudge free, and I think if you're using a case, it won't matter anyway. But it's the little things that really nice, that really make a difference. Speaking of things that are little and don't really make a difference, but I am annoyed by, look at the number of holes at the bottom of the smartphone. So there's 4 on one side for the speaker, and then there's only 3 on the other side. Like, what? Why? Where is the symmetry? Was it like this on the old iPhones? Even on the Pro Max, which has the biggest one, there's also like a couple of holes missing. Ooh, that's quite annoying. Okay, so what else is new on the iPhones? Well, for starters, the screens now all come with their new ceramic shield glass. The front panel is all ceramic shield, which apparently is better than glass. It's harder, more scratch resistant, more durable. Of course, I don't know exactly how durable it is. I don't have like a set of Mohs picks to scratch, and I don't really want to scratch the glass on the phones either. But just based on my little eye test, I can already see tiny hairline scratches on the surface. There's one right at the bottom here. I think I saw one over here as well. Yeah, there's like tiny little hairline scratches already, even though this is like pretty mint, but it's already scratched. So I think if you really want to maintain like a really nice, like perfect screen, you're gonna want to slap on a screen protector. A basic tempered glass one will do, but if you want like a really nice feel, look for one with like the same kind of oleophobic layer lah. That would be really nice. You don't have to worry about in-display fingerprint scanners, because these phones do not have any fingerprint scanners. They're still using Face ID, which I think is a bit of a missed opportunity, because I think a lot of people are talking about how with COVID, how people are wearing masks all the time, unless you are American, in which case you're having a rally. That it would be useful to have an actual fingerprint scanner. So they have like a really flat power button. It's almost like they did on the iPad. So you could, I think, fit like a fingerprint scanner there. I know I don't like it as much, but people want that, and I think they could do it. So I'm not sure why they didn't put like Touch ID there. I think it would be really cool, especially considering the times. Of course, after all this talk about the screen, there is one big difference between them. and that is of course the sizes. So starting at the smallest screen, the iPhone 12 mini has a 5.4-inch display, which puts it sort of right in between like the SE and the old 11 Pro, which is the smaller version, right? That one has a 5.8-inch screen, this one has a 5.4-inch screen, so it's a little bit smaller. In terms of footprint, it is also between like the original SE, which is like the iPhone 5, that kind of size, and the current SE, which is like the iPhone 8 kind of size. So it's roughly in that kind of ballpark, which means it might be too small for some, but it's not like 4 inches, you know. Moving up, you've got the 12 and 12 Pro. These have the same 6.1-inch display, so they're both the same size. And I mean, this time they have like slimmer bezels, so even though it's a bigger screen, it's not a whole lot bigger than the old iPhone 11 Pro. It's like, I think 2 millimeters taller and like half a millimeter wider or something like that. That I'm sure is also in part to like the flat sides that helps shave down the size. But the big boy iPhone 12 Pro Max is massive. This is a 6.7-inch display. Okay, that's huge. That's like freaking Black Shark 3 Pro kind of huge. That's like ROG phone kind of, ROG phone kind of huge. It's massive and it feels massive. It's heavy, it's got a big, like, you know when you're holding it, you'll know when it's in your pocket. Like here, let me show you. It's like a, huh? It's a big phone. It's like, wow, okay, I have really like tight jeans, like the kind of jeans that you need to peel off your legs at the end of the day. But it's got a pretty big pocket. Whereas if you compare it to like the mini, it's like, oh, did I bring my phone? Whereas these two, they're like the normal iPhone size lah. So it's a nice balance. This feels like a phone. It's not massive, but here's the thing, right? People like big screens. People like big phones. So I can understand why they want to go bigger, especially if like the body is not a whole lot bigger. And it's a really nice panel. So yeah, good job there. But of course, bigger phone means bigger body, means bigger battery. So the iPhone 12 Pro Max has the best battery life of all these smartphones. I think this is rated up to 20 hours of video playback. These two have the same battery size, so they are like, I think 17 hours of video playback between the two, but this one has the smallest one. It's like 15 hours, so that is like the thing I'm worried most about the small iPhone, because I use my phone a lot, and if the battery life isn't great, then I'll be very disappointed. But all of them support the same kind of fast charging, but of course you have to buy the brick separately because they don't give you the brick. But they do have MagSafe. So MagSafe, if you remember, was like the thing on MacBooks that everybody was so pissed off when they got out. They got removed because, you know, MagSafe was the thing when like if the cable was inside and then like you like kick the cable off for whatever reason, the laptop doesn't go onto the floor, it still stays on your table. So now they removed that on the MacBooks for good reason. USB-C is better, and put them on the smartphone. So at the back here, there's like a little ring that is magnetic, so you can stick stuff, MagSafe stuff to it. So you can stick like a MagSafe charger. There's a MagSafe charger that I think fast charges at 15 watts across the 12 Pro, 12 Pro Max, 12 Pro and 12, whereas the Mini for some reason is only 12 watts, which is like, why? Maybe it's too small, not enough magnets, I don't know. If you know, let me know in the comments below. So because of that, then they also have like a whole bunch of MagSafe accessories, which includes a case and a wallet. So the wallet is actually pretty cool, where it's a small little card wallet. You just go onto the back. But it's the same wallet size for across the range, so it fits like here for the big one, and then on the Mini, it basically takes over the whole bag. Unfortunately, we don't have a single MagSafe accessory with us right now, but if we do get our hands on it, we will test it in the future, because I'm like really curious, will that wallet stay stuck to your phone when you stick it in your pocket? Or will it just like boop, fly out and then bye-bye wallet? Oh, and before we wrap this video up, there's one thing I did forget to mention about the differences between the cameras, the Pro models and the non-Pro models. So the Pro models, they also have a LiDAR sensor. So a LiDAR sensor is like for 3D mapping, but it also helps with low light autofocusing, which is like a common problem with all smartphones. Across the board, they're like you know, not very great, but with stuff like LiDAR, with stuff like laser autofocusing, they can be better. So that's what Apple's using for the Pro models to differentiate their cameras from the non-Pro models. Alright, so now we have arrived at the inevitable point in every unboxing or every video about the iPhone. We have to talk about the price. So these smartphones, they each come in three storage variants that you can configure them, and I have the prices here on my laptop. The iPhone 12 mini starts at 3,399 ringgit for the 64 gig model. And then there's also the 128 gig model for 3,599 ringgit, and then the 256 gig model for 4,099 ringgit. The iPhone 12 is 3,899 ringgit for the 64 gig model. What the iPhone 12 also a 64 gig model. And then there's a 4,999 ringgit for the 128 gig model, and then if you want the 256 gig model, that's 4,599 ringgit. Holy I mean, I knew iPhones are expensive, but when you actually see the price on paper and like, it's a lot of money. Like, can you imagine 64 gigs, you're paying 3,399 ringgit. You know what phone you can get for that? You can get a S20 FE. You can get a OnePlus 8T fully decked out. You can get Mi 10T. Okay, never mind. Then for the 12 Pro, if you want that stainless steel band, that's gonna cost you 4,899 ringgit. For the 128 gig model. But here's the context, okay? 128 gig model, 4,899 ringgit. That is still 100 ringgit cheaper than the S20 Ultra for 128 gigs also. Value! Then if you want 256 gigs, it's 5,399 ringgit. If you want 512 gigs, it's 6,299 ringgit. And then you've got the big boy. The 12 Pro Max, 128 gigs will set you back 5,299 ringgit. 256 gigs will set you back 5,799 ringgit. And if you want the big 512 gig storage to flex on all your friends and family and even the people you don't like, that will be 6,699 ringgit. That is a lot of money. That's 6.7K for a smartphone that you'll be changing in not a very long time. You can buy like a gapchai for that money. Like gapchai plus accessories. You could of course argue that you can order gapchais to come to you with the phone, I guess. The iPhone, I mean, we kind of expected this. It is a really premium product, and to be fair, despite like all the ragging that I can give it for the price, I think that this year's lineup is pretty interesting. I think that they've sacrificed on the right things and they've chose to put in the good stuff to, you know, sort of to keep, or rather to keep like the important stuff even across the board. For example, all these smartphones have stereo speakers, but the 12 mini is slightly softer. All these smartphones have high resolution Super XDR displays, Super Retina XDR displays, and they look really nice. They've also got really nice premium build IP68 dust and water resistance across the board, so you don't feel like, even if you pick up the 12 mini, I mean, yeah, it's not as pro, but you don't feel like you've been like, you don't feel like it's a lousy phone, you know? It's still like a premium product. Like, it's still the best small form factor device. There's no other phone like it. Yeah, so which one would you get? I think for me, the mini looks really tempting, but if I had to choose between like the Pros and the Pro Maxes and the normal one, I think the Pro's in a pretty sweet spot, though I think 90% of you guys would be happy with the 12 because they fixed the screen. And everything else is pretty much the same, it's just the camera. Alright, so yeah, you heard it here first. These are all the iPhones. I know I didn't get super detailed into it, but we will have a lot of content around the iPhones coming up real soon. All sorts of stuff. We've got, I think, camera comparisons, we've got actual comparisons. We've also got tips and tricks, I think. Okay, I better not promise so much, if not later my team will kill me because they're like, we never said we're going to do this, and then now you tell them, and then now they're expecting it. Okay, so we're not going to do that. But yeah, definitely stay tuned to searchandshare.com. If you don't want to miss all that content, make sure you're subscribed, hit on the notification bell icon. Not hit on the notification bell icon, sorry. Hit the notification bell icon. Make sure you get notified whenever we post a brand new video. You can also like us on Facebook, but our home on the internet will always be at searchandshare.com. If you have any questions on the iPhone 12 series, leave a comment and I will reply. As you can tell, I've been replying a lot of comments now, okay? So please talk to me. COVID's very lonely. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Rory and I'll see you next one. Bye!